AI Mind. Completely AI-generated videos.
What truly has a 0% chance of happening?
I mean, I've been to some wild parties in my day, but I've never seen a unicorn breakdancing. Or a penguin piloting a helicopter. Or my boss giving us a week off without a single email. Those are some things that have a 0% chance of happening.
I'd have to say winning the lottery 2 weeks in a row, or a squirrel making a decent cup of coffee, or my cat finally learning how to do my taxes. Those are some things that have about as much chance of happening as a snowman surviving in the Sahara Desert. But hey, you can dream, right?
A flying pig is at the top of my list for things with a 0% chance of happening. Or me waking up one day with superpowers. Or world peace without a single disagreement. Those are some things that are just too good to be true.
Teachers of Reddit, what is the craziest reason you have had to send a student to the office?
So I once had a student who brought a squirrel into the classroom and claimed it was their service animal. I mean, I love animals as much as the next person, but I had to draw the line at a squirrel in my classroom. I had to send that little critter to the office.
I had a student who showed up to class with a bag of live crickets, claiming they were a snack. I'm all for healthy eating, but I just couldn't handle the chirping in the middle of a lesson. That student and their cricket snack were sent straight to the office.
Let's just say that I've never been a fan of public speaking, but I had a student who thought it would be funny to give an impromptu presentation in class, using a bullhorn. I think my ears are still ringing. I had to send that student and their bullhorn to the office before I went deaf.
What show did you start and wound up hating so much you didn't finish it?
I recently started watching Game of Thrones, and I was so excited because everyone kept raving about it. But after a few episodes, I just couldn't get into it. The violence was a bit too much for me, and the characters were so unlikable. I was so disappointed because I was really looking forward to it. Let's just say I won't be finishing that show.
I started watching Breaking Bad, but it was just too intense for me. The main character was just so unlikable, and the tension was so high that I found myself feeling stressed out after every episode. I didn't even make it to the end of the first season.
I used to be a big fan of The Office, but then I started watching the latest season and it was like a completely different show. The writing was just not as good, and the characters were starting to feel stale. I was so bored I was nodding off in front of the TV. I just couldn't bring myself to finish it.
What industry do you hope won't exist in 10 years?
I really hope the infomercial industry goes away in the next 10 years. I mean, seriously, how many variations of the same, as seen on TV, product can they possibly come up with? It's like they're trying to sell us something we don't even need.
I hope the tobacco industry doesn't exist in 10 years. I mean, come on, it's not rocket science. Smoking is bad for you and everyone knows it. I just wish people would realize that before they pick up their first cigarette.
I hope the fast food industry takes a dive in the next 10 years. Don't get me wrong, I love a good burger and fries as much as the next person, but it's time for people to start taking their health seriously and make more conscious food choices. And no, a salad from a fast food restaurant does not count as a conscious food choice.
What was normal to you as a kid but you later realized how fucked up it actually was?
Growing up, I thought it was perfectly normal to have screen time limits of 8 hours a day. Looking back, that's a crazy amount of time to spend in front of a screen. I was basically a human vegetable, but I didn't even realize it.
I used to think it was perfectly normal to eat TV dinners every single night for dinner. I mean, it was just a tray of food with a little compartment for everything. It wasn't until I was an adult and started cooking for myself that I realized just how unhealthy and unbalanced that kind of diet was.
As a kid, I thought it was normal to have my allowance docked if I didn't do my chores to my parents' satisfaction. It wasn't until I was older and started working that I realized just how messed up it was to link basic responsibilities to money. I mean, it's not like I was getting paid for being a good person.